No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. And today I am in here with my man Riemoh, and we're having a conversation with somebody who's been known to make a lot of noise on the internet. And today we're going to learn all about him. Mickey Truth is in the building. How you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing good. Truth? Thank you for having me.
Very excited
Mickey Truth on No Jumper is crazy.
That's amazing, yes. They call you the female 1090 Jake. Do you resent that?
You know what? No, I don't. But it came a point where I felt like I was in his shadow, though.
Because he's a little bit more of a public figure. He's making videos on a day-by-day basis. You're doing a lot of your work on like Clubhouse and whatnot, right?
I used to.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what got me in the Chicago sector. It was a way to get out his shadow because he wasn't really heavy as far as covering it.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, old block trial.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, 1090 ain't touching on it. Perfect time to segue in there. It was good for me.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about your early life before you became an exposer, though. I want to know the whole story here.
Well, I'm from South Carolina. A lot of people get it confused down from like Chicago. But I'm from South Carolina, 803 to be exact. And my dad and my mom are career criminals. Like they've been in and out of the system. So more so my dad, I was his personal assistant. Like, get the paperwork. What they saying? He ain't trust his lawyer. You know what I'm saying? So starting as a teenager, I was into paperwork, understanding it, because I had to take what I heard in court, explain it to my dad, take what the lawyer said, explain it to my dad.
So he accidentally raised a kid who was like fully immersed in how to read legal paperwork at a very young age.
Right, without ever like really being in the criminal system myself.
What kind of charges did he ultimately catch? What kind of stuff was he into?
Robberies, kidnapping, stuff like that.
Okay.
Big.
And was he not...
Free my daddy, by the way, because he locked up.
He's locked up now, too. For what?
Robbery, kidnapping.
Holy shit. But like, what was he not great at reading, or was he just a little confused by the whole thing?
It's one thing about the legal thing, a lot of words don't mean what you think they mean.
Right.
So to him, lawyers be fast talking salespeople. So like he be like, okay, I get what you're saying, everything gonna work out. That's what that really means. So he'll look at me like, that's what that really means. And then I had to just break it down to him like, well, yeah, that's what I mean, but no, daddy, like, nah, that's not really what that means. You probably about to do some time. Lawyers try to sugarcoat. They don't want you to get too upset with them while they're there. Now, once they leave, you at the jailhouse, you call them on the phone, they might, but most times they don't want to break the news to you in person.
But it doesn't seem like you were influenced by him to actually become involved in crime. It seemed, or you can tell me if I'm wrong about that, but it seems like it more led you to be sort of fascinated by analyzing crime and legal paperwork and whatnot.
As a teenager, I played some games and could have went down a different route. I had a daughter as a teenager, so that kind of took me back to like, hold up, I can't be moving around like this. And then it got up to a point I had to say, I can't blame my parents for my choices now because I'm making them. See, being born into it is their choices that led to how I grew up. But when I became a mother, I can't blame my parents as to what I'm doing to be away from my daughter. So I ain't gonna get into all that. But as a teen, I was a little out there. But then I got it together and like used it for good, because before I even became a YouTuber, before any of that, I would still be the person people would call to help them understand, whether it's family court papers, because I've been through the foster care system, you know what I'm saying? I would help people with civil. Just, for YouTube, criminal was the way to go.
But it was just kind of like a hobby, like just something that you were interested in?
Yeah, just good at it, a legal assistant by trade, you know what I'm saying?
So that you did end up like going into it as your field? Okay. So,
yeah, like in real time.
Where'd you go to college?
No, I did it by trade. So,
okay.
I don't know about every state, but in South Carolina, if you work for a legal law office, you can get the experience and then you can just take the test.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And get your certification, paralegal certification. So
that's dope.
Yeah. But now I'm not an active paralegal now. I don't want nobody to remember that, but I have worked as that in my real life.
Wait, so the stuff that you're doing now, would that be like out of bounds if you're actually working as a paralegal? Really? That would be mad?
Yeah, that would be, because there'll be a conflict of interest. You can't, you can't openly just be working on stuff like that. But see,
you can't be collaborating with Wack 100 if you want to be taken serious in the field.
And shout out to Wack 100.
Because early on, that's a lot. That's why I think I first started seeing you. You were collaborating with Wack on the 100 ENT side of things.
So I didn't start with him over there, right? I just happened, he came across me with the BMF case. A lot of people don't know that's what created the queen of paperwork. I went through all the BMF cases, Georgia, Michigan, and California. That's what created the queen of paperwork, and that's how me and Wack 100 came across each other. Cause he like, who is this chick? You know, with interviews with Bleu Davinci and stuff, talking to Cuff. You know, like, and that's how we joined up. It was so crazy. Chicago is what ended my time on Clubhouse, because Wack didn't want me covering the Chicago content. He said, academics did all that. What you doing it for?
Not
he ain't
really,
see the vision.
Like, I covered it back in the day with the War in Chirac shit, but it's not like he was doing like deep legal digging into like who was snitching or anything.
Yeah.
And even now, like, Ack will touch on shit from Chicago, but he wouldn't say that he's, you know, really trying to like be the judge of like who told. And like, Ack does seem kind of like weirdly familiar with like legal paperwork and stuff sometimes, but it doesn't seem like he's trying to make that a specialty.
Yeah, so that was really what made me leave Clubhouse, because me and Wack would bump heads all the time, because he was like, no, you need to cover Nicki Minaj, or you need to cover. I'm like, I ain't doing what I need, because like I said, I wanted to get out of 1090J's shadow. I was in this weird space between him and Wack at one point, and then I couldn't get from under him. We would cover the same cases, and his would make no jumper. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, man, I got to figure out something he ain't doing so it can be Mickey Truth and not 1090 Jake all the time.
I mean, 1090 Jake does have like a good relationship with me, you, a few other people, so it's like he seems like he knows when, if he wants to send a video to somebody or let them know before it's coming out, he maybe does a little bit better.
He sent me to y'all with the Lil Tim thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I do remember that, because he was, I'm going to send it to Riemoh. And so, yeah, I salute him. I mean, our relationship ain't like it used to be. I can't tell you why. I don't know if it's because the whole Wack thing at one point, we don't talk no more.
Really?
But I still appreciate him, because, you know, I learned a lot from him, for sure.
Yeah, because I do remember him saying that he used to teach you a little bit of a few things.
Yeah, I got good at the FOIA.
The FOIA?
Yeah, because he helped me with wording. Like, when I started this YouTube thing, it was to another level. See, I was just playing around for fun at first. But then when I started, like, people started noticing, like, you really know what you're talking about. You should do this case. And I'm like, well, hold on. How do I get that? How do I get, you know? So I say 1090 was like a mentor at one time. But at some point, you know, you got to kind of leave the mentor to do your own thing, because people kept wanting me to be like him. Our styles are always have been different. But, you know, he was into snitching. I didn't care about snitching. It was the case that was intriguing to me. But because I came under him, it was like, okay, you need to care about snitching too. So,
but like, it's like, if you're going to do a full analysis of a case, it's kind of like, what are you going to use as the clickbait to really get people to pay attention to it? Like, because like a lot of the cases that you've looked into, like in the BMF thing in particular, were you looking into it from the perspective of like, I want to figure out who told in this case, or just in general to understand it?
No, to be honest, it was the whole not BMF. Bleu Davinci dropped the paperwork saying Meech was a snitch.
Okay.
And I'm like, that paper that you dropped ain't saying that. It's from the defense. And one thing I love to tell people is you have to pay attention who is putting the document out. The defense is there to paint this storyline.
Right. So
you have to see what came with the response. So this particular document off a cuff case was saying that Meech was a third-party corroborator in the case. But if you read the transcripts to the hearing, they basically clear him of that by saying no, he wasn't aware of it. But just looking at that one document by the defense, you would have thought that. And I mean, that's still up for debate depending on who you ask. But that's how me and Cuff, who case it is now, created a relationship. He calls me from the feds and all and updates me, and, you know, I put little clips out he want to put out. So it's just, you got to read more than one document. And that's why I'm so good at what I do, because I don't mind buying the whole case and reading it.
You have to buy it?
Yeah, for Fed case, you got to buy it.
How much does that end up costing?
It's 15 cents per page. And anytime you click and paste, sir, it's 10 cents. Well, not 15 cents, 10 cents. Anytime you click. So it costs.
Click to...
As soon as you log in,
really?
It's 10 cents every time you click.
What the
BMF, all three cases cost me about $1,000.
Really?
And this was, I was really a small channel back then.
And do you have any hope of like making that money back, or does it?
Yeah, that's why I'm on that.
Okay. That's kind of why you decided to pursue YouTube over Clubhouse?
Yeah.
Or were you always doing both?
No, I started YouTube first. I went to Clubhouse because everybody was like, you need to get on all the social media platforms. It was something new. It was a way to connect with people that like to talk. So, yeah.
Yeah, Clubhouse does seem like it makes sense for networking. I just am a little skeptical about building a business on there long term. I don't know.
It's different. I got doxxed on there. It's different.
Really?
They don't play no game.
Who dogs you?
I ain't about to give him no clout, but
Somebody from the hunting side?
no.
How'd you manage to piss somebody off that bad?
1090J.
Really?
Yeah.
You think he sicked somebody on you, or somebody was just a fan of him?
No, an enemy of him, basically. So at this time, the first set of paperwork for 1090J that said when he was 18, he got some kids locked up.
Oh, right.
But that was fake.
The broken window thing?
Right.
Okay.
So I requested it because 1090J a big YouTube. I'm upcoming YouTube, for sure I'm about to run it. It was fake. The guy that put it out was mad about it because by that point I started to make my own traction on Clubhouse with the BMF thing, and I guess because he felt some type of way that I exposed that he put out fake paperwork, he called himself exposing me or doxing me. But the crazy thing is my identity was never a secret. I already had said my name anyway, so it wasn't like, Was it awkward or upsetting? Did they put out like your address or anything? No, they just put my name and some pictures because at the time I was behind the camera. I didn't show myself.
Okay.
But I was already on the verge of working on that. Once I found out if I wanted to do it for real. So, I mean, if anything, they created a monster by doing it. Because now I'm like, shit, my name out there, my face out there, like, whatever. Let's get it. So, it's like, now it's like, what can you do? And I will say, shout out to Wack for this, though, because he said, I mean, what can they say about you? Like, you ducking something? You scared of something? I'm like, no. Then he be like, so what? So now it'd be like when people like, oh, Mickey Truth Exposed. That's the favorite YouTube titles. Mickey Truth Exposed. I'm like, okay, try your big one. Like, what you gonna say?
You don't have anything to hide?
No. And if anything, like I said one time on the live, hell no, I ain't always pay my bills. Like, what y'all gonna put that I ain't pay a light bill before? Like, I don't have no background to say like, oh, you and whatever. I tell y'all, both my parents was criminals. That's their life, not mine. You know what I'm saying? I been in foster care. I mean, I tell my own stuff, so it's like, what can you say?
That is a fact, though. As soon as you get into the business of exposing people, and we've seen it with Wack, and we've seen it with 1090 Jake, that like people just go very out of their way to paint any possible negative narrative about you. Like the stuff with 1090 Jake, I feel like is like a big stretch in terms of like they've just really taken anything they could get their hands on.
Anything. And that's why I say, I for sure got caught shoplifting when I was 18. Like, you know what I'm saying? I work in corporate America. Trust me, ain't nothing there. And I'm not in the streets. They love to say you're not street. I never said I was. I'm a law-abiding citizen.
But how do you feel about snitches?
I per se snitching to each his own. However, I don't like when you don't stand on it, cause that shows a bad reflection of you. Like if you say you told, like what you sitting here deflecting for, and that's why Chicago is so fun to be in, cause almost all of them are snitches, but they're not gonna say they snitches.
Almost all of them.
Almost all of them. Like let's be real, almost all of them.
Like who?
FBI Butta for show. Okay. And I'm not talking about just on. Okay, so I call him the police because he literally called the police on me. Like that's a fact. That's in the paperwork that I have today.
Why did he do that?
Because he was a crybaby and he didn't want me telling what he was saying on the stand before he could get his ass on his tour and lie.
Because you was at the trial.
I was at the trial when he was on the stand.
So you and FBG Butta, FBI Butta, as you would say. Yeah. Y'all beef stemmed from you going on live with 16 Shot on?
Yes, that's how it started. I went on there and I didn't even say nothing bad. I just was like, he pointed out King Von, he pointed out this person, whatever, but they all did, And then I said, his mom got paid, right? That's what I said. His mom got paid. Now, I got that from his count, right? So he went on this whole thing. Oh, my mom didn't get paid. Oh no, he went on 16 and said he didn't get paid. I never said you got paid. I said your mom got paid. So when Chicago Sun-Times dropped the article, Mickey Truth lied about Whitney's mom getting paid. No, the defense said Mickey Truth lied because they wanted the prosecution to reply if that was true or not. And what did they do? They replied and said, hey, we told you that FBI Butta family member got paid to relocate.
How much did she get paid, and did she get paid?
So I was told $2,700, but and let me clarify, that never came out the dollar amount. So I can't say on record for sure that's what she got paid, but it's in black and white. But that was a whole narrative, right? They was paying, it was over a lie. Per the paperwork, FBI Butta, okay, was throwing a hissy fit the morning I got put out of court, running out the witness room to try to fight me because he was upset.
Did he actually try to fight you? He get anywhere near you?
I wasn't there, so I didn't know what was going on. But in the paperwork, the police wrote an affidavit saying they had to chase behind him downstairs to like bring him back to the witness stand.
What a zoo this trial was, because like think about the with Ceddy Nash getting like arrested for just being there and stuff because he made a YouTube video where he said,
and that is true for those. It happened the same day,
Really?
the same time. Like I met Ceddy Nash that morning. That was the first time I ever met him. Facts, and that's why I don't talk about that witness. Because one thing that's different between witnesses, an informant is like a police officer. I don't give him. He tried to come at me on all angles. I don't respond to him because you will. They was trying to lock Ceddy Nash up off of that witness.
So break down why Ceddy Nash got arrested.
What was going to be arrested because basically he left a statement on YouTube that said, "Hey, y'all need to crash out and basically kill this dude for doing all this telling." Basically, that's government property. You can't do that. Like that's different. You can't do that with a regular person, but really a government informant.
Yeah.
That's like doing that on a police officer.
it's just kind of crazy that they weren't motivated enough to actually like send police after him or like file like a real investigation or whatever, but that they saw him in court and they were like, "Oh, we know what you said and we don't want you here, so we're gonna interrogate you and tell you to delete the video." Like that's just so bizarre.
Right. And then what's crazy is, and see, what people got mixed up was they tried to tie me into that situation. That was a totally different situation. My situation was solely on FBI Butta. He told them Mickey Truth. That's how they knew who I was. He told them. It says, Raheem Wilton told agents Mickey Truth, a blogger that was in the courtroom, like he said it. That made them go to my YouTube page and went looking at stuff I had posted. Now, this is the thing. The other person, I did way more views. He was like, to this date, that's my top video when I did his.
About who?
The other one, I don't even say his name, the Trenches Newz one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't even talk about him because it won't get me. But top view video. But you go look at a video that made 3,000 and like, why would they do that if I got one that's 40,000? You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, Trenches Newz, he's a weird one because he came on here, had like a pretty normal conversation, I would say, aside from the fact that Riemoh did like press him pretty hard about telling, and he didn't really answer the question, and like you were sort of able to like read between the lines and be like, oh, he's like kind of admitting that he did this or whatever. And then ever since then, like every interview that he goes on, he talks about how No Jumper was nothing special, No Jumper is whatever, fuck them, I don't like it's just kind of like progressively got like more extreme, and I don't really know where it's coming from because I mean it's not like we really like claim to be like super special or whatever. It's like we do interviews, we invited you on, what like now, but now his thing is to say like, oh, it ain't all that. It's like, well, did we really say we were all that? Like that's a weird insult. Like I self-proclaim myself queen of paperwork. Okay.
He's mad about that. I'm like, do you want to be the queen of paperwork? Like, what is it? It'd be like the dudes that be so mad about it. Like, I'm like, why are y'all so mad about me calling myself queen of paper? If you don't think so, cool. Like, that's crazy.
So what all the Trenches Newz had to say about you?
I don't listen to him, so I get little clips. He basically like try to just like talk about me being big, all types of shit like that. Stuff like, bruh, you wear a mask. You don't even like how you look.
We don't even know how you look.
I mean, I got to see him.
You did, huh?
Yeah.
I didn't see him.
Like I found his Facebook, so I saw him, and I think that's really why he was mad, because like his picture had been out. I just confirmed it was him, but yeah, like dude, you don't even like yourself. And see, that's the thing. They can't hold a match to me when it comes to, I'm going to be honest, the last person I actually had a good conversation with about legal stuff was 1090J. As far as a blogger or a YouTuber, none of them can't hold a match. They'll start saying, well, the street, stay out of street business. If you don't understand, just say that. Or if you, let me tell you, they just be saying all types of weird stuff. Like, for example, with this Muwop thing, you know, they're saying, oh, he getting a new lawyer. No, he got the same lawyer. But instead of his family having to pay this lawyer, now the state or the government is going to pay this lawyer. That's how it go. Like, same way we do content and maybe a little play in it, the legal system is like that. Why have your family or family pay a lawyer that's about to be on the case for a while because they got to go through motions, appeals, all that, when you can just say, he don't got no income. What he doing? He in jail.
Why is the taxpayer on the hook to pay the legal bills of a murderer who killed a rapper that we personally like? Like, we all kind of are bummed out about this whole Duck thing, and we got to pay this motherfucker's legal bills?
And that's what's so intriguing about the legal system, though.
Right.
You know, we foot the bill for it all. The case. Now, mind you, that shit was a circus.
Yeah.
You got FBI Butta saying he was lying just to get freedom. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a circus, and the taxpayers are going to have to pay for it. But that's just how the legal system go. You know, it just goes like that. So just to clarify that he got the same lawyer, just now the government is paying for it compared to, you know, the family or whatever. And I'm just going to bring it up. You know, I went viral not too long ago because I had a free Muwop shirt, right?
And it was kind of, all right, so before you say that, Momma Duck invited you to the trial? Because that's what she said.
She didn't invite me to the trial. Like I said, I came up to go to the trial on live with Ceddy Nash. Because Ceddy Nash was like, yo, the Trenches Newz thing is like crazy. I wanted to go see him. So testify, but I got there when FBI Butta. But that's how I got there. However, when I made it to the trial, I met her. She was very nice. I ain't about to sit here and say like she was mean to me. She was nice.
But have y'all spoken beforehand? Like, did you guys have any type of relationship before you even?
A relationship? No. She popped up on a live I was on, but we didn't have a relationship. We kind of built a rapport that day. But what people don't know, I met Muwop mama too. Yeah. I tapped in with both of them. His mama just behind the scenes. She don't talk publicly like Momma Duck. Yeah. And she invited me to FBG Duck's birthday party. So I stepped out for a few minutes and went to the party. Like I said, I'm not about to sit here and say she mistreated me. But one thing about my content, that's not the first free somebody shirt I know. I done wore a free Melly shirt. That's part of my content. It's like, if it's unjustly being done, because again, the legal system is not about if you really did something or not. Let's be real. It's about the storyline, what you can prove with that storyline. And if that's not being done, then I'm going to say, free my daddy, free Papa Truth. You know what I'm saying? I have family members that's in the system. I'm not about to sit here and just be okay with an unjustly conviction. No. Like, do your job the right way. We don't have to worry about appeals. We don't have to worry about people getting out because you did it the right way. But what people don't know, that storyline that we got from the trial was one-sided. It wasn't the full details. The video that came out, that's the video. It's not going to be clear like us sitting here, how when it drops, no video came out like that. That video that got leaked is the video.
So you actually think that Muwop is not as guilty as the other ones?
I'm not going to say that because I never get into that because you never know who did something. What I can say, the evidence isn't there.
Really?
Nobody. So one misconception is that he was pointed out in the car at the dealership. That's incorrect. I got that testimony too. I don't know if it's a salesperson, finance guy. He never saw nobody else in the car except Lowe's. That's who he identified. He didn't see nobody walking away from the car. It's no video showing like, okay, well maybe Muwop and Zell Muna got out up the street. They don't have no video of that. The baby mama, Lowe's baby mama, testified that the federal government pressured her to say it was Muwop. She wasn't sure who the other person was. You know what I'm saying? That's not enough in the court of law. And see, what people fail to realize, when this goes to appeal, because it probably will, you know, even though he's up for acquittal, they probably gonna deny it. But one ground for appeal is, does the evidence prove a guilty verdict. And they were supposed to be individually looked at, not all together. It was supposed to be each defendant. It wasn't enough on him. I mean, just period. I mean, that's just legal. You know?
So you think he hopped in the car at O Block and drove there, but there's no proof that he actually did anything once they got there?
I'm gonna say I don't even know if he hopped in the car because in the video we don't see who hopped in the car. Like on some real stuff. Now, even in the hallway, we can assume who it is. But if you would have never told me who was supposed to be involved, I wouldn't have been able to say that's this person, that's that person. And I reacted to the video. Like, you really don't know. The only reason why I have a assumption, because the government put in the paperwork who was who.
I feel like I'm at the point in my life where, like, for sure, when I was younger, I would have said free this rapper, no problem. I feel like I'm probably at the point where if a rapper is accused of murder, I'm not going to be saying free them. Now, if it's like Meek Mill locked up for doing a fucking wheelie or whatever, for sure, free Meek Mill. But I don't really run around saying free Young Thug, even though I fuck with Young Thug. I don't really run around saying free a lot of people. Like, you know, I got a lot of people who are facing serious charges, and I want them to get out. But I also, like in the case of Melly, it would feel kind of callous for me to wear that shirt, given that granted, I have a relationship with him and I fuck with him, but I also have like been around the dudes who are killed, and I don't really want to be seen as like taking a stand without necessarily having done the homework. And even if I did the homework, I mean, the homework is leading me to a conclusion that I don't really want to come to since I'm friends with the guy. But, I don't know, that the whole free someone's shirt thing is a little different these days. And
now I never took away from Momma Duck if she felt some type of way. Like, at the end of the day, that's what people like got mixed up. I never said like I'm against her being mad. What I said was, how can you be mad at me like that? That you went on 4 or 5 lives, right? But you have your grandkid's dad on interviews saying he lied on the stand, which is a grounds for appeal already. That he lied on the stand to get him out. That was my whole thing. Like, Making Mason, you don't know me for real. You say you don't know her. Like, I don't know Mickey. I don't know her for real. But that's fucked up what she did. But you co-signing what FBI Butta is doing?
Did you go to the birthday party?
I did stop by. I did.
And this was before or after you wore the shirt?
It was before. It was the same day of trial.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, like I met her at trial and I stopped by, me and my cousin went.
So you can kind of see why she would feel away though, because it's kind of in bad taste a little bit to like, if you went to the birthday party, then she see you later on that week wearing a free Muwop shirt after going to Ducks.
Now, like I said, I don't take away from her feeling some type of way, right? However, me as a content creator, that's just like, it's consistent with what I do. However, I just was like, why you ain't just hit me up though? Like, you went on 5 lives telling, y'all tell Mickey to call me. Well, you got my number.
She's a content creator too.
Right. So everybody got mad because I said, y'all following up Momma Duck. She ain't mad for real. It's content. You know what I'm saying? They got mad at me for that.
I feel like she's mad for real, probably, right? Like,
she hit me up on the back end later, but by then I was mad. I'm like, you done called me all types of bitches and shit. I don't want to talk to you now.
But it is funny how, like, even when we were talking to Butta about her, what did he say? He called you a bitch. He called you whatever names, making fun of your body type or whatever. And he was basically saying, like, I never heard of her. I don't know her, which is like, they're all weird insults that have absolutely nothing to do with what we're actually talking about, right?
And he mentioned, and see, this is the thing. That's why I was mad when I heard it, more so to DJU, because he actually threatened me on DJU.
Really?
See, he was more like respectable on y'all, but on DJU. And that's why I wore the fuck FBI Butta shirt when I went to DJU.
And what exactly did he say on there that you...
He was basically saying he was gonna send or could send some people to kill me and my daughter type thing.
Dear Lord.
And I'm like, so you gonna, your little homie is gonna go crash out so you can tell on them. So that's what we doing. Like, you just, cause you definitely gonna tell, cause what people don't know. And the next time y'all talk to him, ask him what did he had to tell on that proffer in 2015. Y'all know why a lot of murders got solved, even though it was the suspects was dead. Ask him about that. How all them cases got closed
in 2015
when he called that murder case.
You're telling me something I don't know about. Okay. All right, so what proffer?
Yeah.
But so the information from the proffer isn't public?
No.
You just know there was a proffer.
Yeah, if you read O.D. Perry, the source of the Riemoh, remember that's what started the whole Riemoh for the O Block one, right?
All right.
If you read his murder paperwork, it says 2 STL members that was in jail in 2015 for first degree murder in the suburbs contacted the state attorney's office to provide information that K.I. and Boss Trail committed this murder. And they received a proffer. Now, I hate to do it to Lil J, but what other 2 people associated with STL was in jail for murder in the suburbs in 2015?
You're saying that they both had the Italian beef and Pepsi, perhaps.
Now, it got me to thinking now, this is my assumption at this point, though. It got me to think, the whole thing, Lil J saying, oh, Butta snitched on me, right? It seemed like maybe Lil J backed out of his proffer. And that's why he got more time than Butta did. But yeah. Wow. And just know the truth team is on it. We waiting.
That's a little bombshell right there. Okay. I didn't know about that.
Well, tell him to talk about that. That's probably why he going on these interviews saying, oh, this person killed that person, because he done told the people that.
But that's crazy if that's true, because FBG Butta, when he was doing his Vlad interview, I was kind of taken aback, and given the history, it's not that crazy, but like the way he was talking about O.D. Perry, he was saying like, well, that's why O.D. got his shit splat. And I'm just like, oh my God, you're still out here. Like normally even the killers don't really talk about the people that got killed like in such graphic detail like that. I'm kind of like, oh my God.
Now think about who else like really outside with the Chicago personalities ever said K.I. actually killed O.D. besides Butta.
He basically said it, right?
Yeah, so like it makes sense. Wow. Like it's you. Now again, it don't say FBI Butta in that paperwork, but hey.
Crazy. Do you think it takes somebody from outside of the like normal rapper group to be able to like have clear thought processes on this kind of shit? Because it's like 1090 Jake, whenever he says something about somebody telling, it's like, you're white, you're fat, fuck you, you're from Boston, like, whereas with you, it's like you're a woman, it's kind of like...
You're not street.
I mean, I guess Wack is somebody who's like fully from the environment that he's kind of talking about, but also I see Wack as being somewhat compromised when it comes to certain people. He definitely does not talk about everybody equally. There's been some LA rappers who've been accused of snitching, and I brought it up to him, and he's like, I don't know, I didn't look into that one. And then you bring up other people, and he's like, well, I got this piece of paperwork, check this out right here. He's like got all his information together. So I wouldn't say that he's necessarily like trying to be the judge, jury, and execution. Yeah. And even 1090 Jake said that he's kind of trying to fall back from it. He wants to do podcasts and not necessarily expose
I fell
people.
back from, see, I never was an exposer. I was a fact checker though. You know what I'm saying? Like I never exposed, like nobody can ever say I exposed them as a snitch. Yeah. I will verify it though once it comes out, but I never exposed nobody. However, some people say I'm biased, but I'm not. I treat every case the same. Like Bezu. Everybody swear up and down I'm biased. That's not because I say he ain't tell on neither the cases I covered. And I'm just like, I did it just like I would do anybody else. So how is that being biased?
But fill us in on the details of that. I haven't honestly even been keeping up to it, except I've seen a few people.
Okay, so the Atlanta case, the Atlanta case with Dirt, Bezu, and King Von was my first case with a Chicago rapper at all. I got certified copies of that case, paperwork. It was gonna fall apart. Nobody was gonna do time for that. Even if Von was still alive, they couldn't even send in paperwork to indict him before he died for pretrial. Like that's in the paperwork. Like
what was alleged that happened? Just for those who haven't looked into this in a while.
So allegedly a robbery took place and the victim got shot. Alex. Wait, and I actually talked to Alex.
Dirk, Von, and Bezu
and Hellemans.
Okay, who got killed in Miami during Rolling Loud actually a few years back. But they were in Atlanta, and they see somebody and they end up...
No, they were all hanging out. They're friends.
Right.
The guy that got shot.
Oh, even the guy who got shot was their friend?
Yeah, they were in the car. So I think Ceddy Nash put out the actual video of the incident.
He did.
Oh, he did?
And so... allegedly, if you compare the report with the video, Dirk and Von was in one car, Bezu and the victim was in another car where the shooting took place. Now, up until recently, the paperwork said the victim said Bezu shot him. Okay.
And the victim died?
No. The victim's still around. He actually just got out of jail not too long ago. I actually spoke with him on a FaceTime, and he said that.
Let's just speak to him.
Hey, I can get you in touch with him. The victim said he was sedated, and the police was asking him questions, and they just kind of like, okay, you said this, all right, I'm gonna put this in the report. But he said he never said anything. That's why the case fell apart. Okay. So they didn't have no evidence. That's true. All this, if Vaughn was alive, when he was alive, March 2020, pretrial sent a letter to the state attorney's office like, hey, y'all haven't indicted him. We're about to relieve him from the services. Like,
yeah, because that's what people were saying. They said if Vaughn was alive, he would have been charged for it.
Yeah.
And he was the fall guy. And
they were trying to make it out like Dirk snitched on him after he died.
Yeah, that was untrue. It was falling apart. They didn't have a corroborating victim no more. You know, none of that. So that was one. The second one was the murder case with, what was it, 2009? But I think basically got picked up in like 2014. And that just, you know, and it's about consistency in paperwork. They don't have a statement from him. They just said, okay, this person identified XYZ as XYZ, but he said they all hung together. That's it. Like, how are y'all saying that snitching when the ones who actually snitch, they have the statement saying, so-and-so said him, Basil, this person, that person went to the store. He saw him shoot. That's snitching. You're giving a statement. You know, you can't just go off of because the report says somebody said they was with somebody without, where's the statement where they actually said we were together at this crime scene? That's not what happened.
And see, this is why I feel like somebody like you or 1090 Jake is actually doing like very important work, because realistically, I'm in the position where even if I knew that Bezu told on somebody, it doesn't fucking matter to me, because I'm just, you know, I'll interview him again. We could talk about it, whatever. Right. It's not the end of the world to me. But for a lot of these people who come from this way of life, this is the biggest deal in the fucking world to them, and they want to know who they can trust. And the problem is that it's not like we can just ignore it, because I guarantee you I can go find 10, 20 videos on YouTube right now calling Bezu a snitch by people who did a shoddy job of looking into it, right?
Facts. And that's why I'm most hated when it comes to that, because the switches, everybody was like, he beat 2 switches. The video is out. The body cam, right? I just recently did this video. I went over the paperwork. This is where you have to have a mind for law, right? And then I watched the video. I said, let's watch the video. I proved through the video how he beat the case without even, like, I was like, I could have been his attorney and beat the case. With weapons, especially, I'm gonna say Illinois, since that's where the case was. You have to prove possession. If they can't prove you was the only person in that back seat where that gun was found, they can't say that was your gun. Period.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So ultimately he beat the case, and I knew this because I had a conversation with him. Ultimately he beat the case because they couldn't prove it. Yeah. But because they say I'd be biased when it comes to Bezu, I wasn't doing real time to show people I know what I'm talking about. Like 7-minute video was right there this whole time. It's been out for years. Right there. And nobody took the time to really look.
Right. That's crazy. See. And that's the difference between somebody actually caring and somebody just being like, oh, fuck it, let's do a clickbait. Because we live in the fake news era.
Oh, yeah.
There's like more fake news than real news, especially after somebody gets killed. We've all seen it with young Dolph. Oh, they found black youngsters' footprints at the scene of the crime. Fucking all these like crazy things that, like, you know, it is important that we have people who are actually trying to dig into it, because we can't really rely on the mainstream media to do it, because they barely fucking exist at this point. Also, does the mainstream media care about THF Bezu? Probably not enough to really give him a fair shake the way that you or somebody like you would. You know?
And see, you know, I started doing it because it's promo for me, because I get paid to research. Like, everybody be like, your page ain't growing. I ain't never said I get paid off of YouTube. But, you know, I get bigger YouTubers that try a little bit. Hey, Mickey, can you explain to me, like, what does this mean? Okay, pay my fee.
So you'll consult with them?
Yeah.
Are you academics as consultant?
Nobody need to be, because some people be leading him astray. Okay.
That's funny that you say that, because there's been a couple times where I listened to Ack's like videos, and I'm kind of like, he has to have like a lawyer or somebody he's consulting, because I don't know why or like how Ack would necessarily be able to, like, when he was talking about how many years Tax Stone was going to get. I was just like, I don't feel like you would just know this. I feel like you consulted with somebody to figure this out.
It's a lot of us that do that, though.
Really? Yeah. He might have a guy. Yeah. I don't know.
At one point, I was Wack's consultant when it came to paperwork. Right. He'll send me something to verify. A lot of people used to think I would just pull, but sometimes he'll send me something he already had. Like, check it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, this and that. So, I do that. That's where I get my bread and butter from, the behind the scenes. Now, the content that I do is just for fun, really, but that's why my name is so big compared to my platform, because the bigger people will shout me out, like, hey, shout out to Mickey True for, looking out for this. Or because a lot of people don't understand the law. And everybody don't have an attorney on standby that they can just call with questions. So they'll be like, Mickey, like, what does this mean? Or, what does that mean? And, pay me and I'll tell you. Hey.
Any rappers reach out to you yet?
Beforehand, no. Yeah. Normally, see, I troll in a different way. I'll hear something and I'll be like, okay, let me at this person. See what they say. Ceddy Nash, that's how me and Ceddy Nash, started talking Basil, Fredo Bang, because I just would at them. Like, I hear something like, okay, I'm about to check into you. And you can tell the ones that don't have nothing to hide, because they'll respond like, I don't care, run it.
So you looked in the Ceddy Nash case when...
So
there was a case, just the news clip,
not the case.
So I looked into the appeal for the person that got charged with the murder, and it kind of outlines what's what. But as far as like the whole thing, if that's really his buddy, I don't know about all that now, But I looked into the brother situation, because it was allegation he snitched on his brother, and I was the one who went and got the transcript showing that his brother didn't go down for shooting. Nobody went down for shooting. But as far as like, that's as far as I did. A lot of people like, oh, you're covering up for Ceddy Nash. And I'm like, because I know how to read. Like, how is that covering up?
Are you confident? Can we trust you on everything? Like, if you found paperwork about somebody that you actually had love for, would you be willing to expose it? Or do you think that you would sacrifice that for your relationship?
Like, if I didn't know you before Mickey Truth, it's fair game. Right. Now, but if, like, people will ask me a lot, would I do it for, like, somebody from my hometown or whatever? Now, if I knew you, like, what the fuck? I'm not going to be the one. That's a conflict of interest to me. And I'd have had people, I said, nah, I ain't, taking nothing to do with that. If you uncover it, cool. But if I met you at Mickey Truth, this business. Like, what you...
A lot of people got on my ass because at one point there were people trying to expose Greedo. And I basically told the guy who was trying to send me paperwork about Greedo or whatever, I was like, listen, you could talk to this dude, and I put him in touch with 1090. I was just like, you can handle this. Like, if you want somebody to really take a fair look at it, he could take a fair look at it. And a lot of people were like, that's you being a bad friend to Greedo. From my perspective, it was like, this is probably the best way for him to get a fair shake. And anyway. Yeah, because otherwise it's like going to be some shady YouTuber. Like, unless somebody who has a real perspective or is somewhat trusted, I feel like, then there's nothing wrong with it. Right?
I think 1090 sent me that paperwork too. But I chose, because I don't really do West Coast content like that, because it's hard. It's red tape to get the paperwork. But then I found out it was a Texas case, so I probably would have did it. But at the time, I just looked up like, oh, that's a West Coast rapper. Like,
much of a pain in the ass.
Yeah, like to get it.
What do you mean by red tape? Like, yeah, because everyone says it's harder to get LA paperwork.
It is.
Why is it so hard?
For one, if you ain't here to go in person type thing, that's why TMZ got it on lock, because they got people they can do it. See, Texas, Florida, Chicago, a simple email, done. Yeah. It may come with a fee, pay the fee, but if I lived here, yeah, I'll do, but it's just too much red tape. Unless it's a Fed case. Now, Fed case is fair game because that's one database and you can pull it, but it's just too much hassle.
It's funny that you learned kind of a similar thing that we've learned, which is that people are so fascinated by Chicago. It's like its own country within America.
Yes, it's been going on for so long. And see, that's why I always say I'm the most hated as far as the Chicago sector, because so many people have been covering for so long, they kind of believe the lies. So I come along, like, and say, so y'all ain't been see this? Like, this paperwork been on Reddit forever, but I still request my own. I'm like, how is this still a question?
And if the only people saying the FBG Butta like did all this shit, if the only people saying it are his ops, then of course people like us are going to be very skeptical,
Right, but he really telling on himself. A lot of them tell on themselves. You just got to listen. See, they deflect so well. And I hate to bring him up because it kind of the situation to die down, but Fyndee Boy, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, shit.
I was the one that, I mean, it was simple to figure out that he was lying about that case being closed.
Oh, he was lying.
Oh, yeah, he was lying. And see, that was a mistake, really, by me covering it because he started trolling me and then realized who I was. I'm like, oh, you want to troll? So, yeah.
Break down the case, though, for the people who don't know what.
So he's accused of messing with a child.
A minor.
A child, right?
You say a child? You mean like really young?
Yeah, I think she was like 8, 9, like a little girl, right? So when the paperwork dropped, I just reacted to the paperwork. I didn't pull it. I just was like, I normally don't like to touch them type of cases. And I was just like, what the fuck? You know? And he tagged me like, you don't know what you talking about type stuff. Oh, that case is closed and all this and that. So I'm like, okay. See, what made me different than some other YouTubers, I'll call the courthouse. I'll talk to the people. That's when that paralegal shit come in play. You know, I can call and, you know, chop it up.
So you didn't actually come to any conclusions about whether he was guilty or not? Or
no,
you just felt like he was lying about the state of it?
Right. Because I was like, it don't make sense. Like when I think it was a DJU interview, I was like, that don't even add up. That don't make sense. Like, why would you still be on bond if the case was closed? So that's when I started looking into it. And then the family reached out. The family of the little girl reached out to me and was like, you know, they said what they said. And I mean, I can't fault them for feeling if your child telling you that's what happened. So I don't know none of that. All I can tell you is that case is still open.
What was his relationship even to this girl? Like, how was he even around
his
her?
girl was the aunt. Oh. If I remember correctly, it's been a minute, but if I remember, the girl was the aunt. He hit me up to do an interview. Like, he wanted to go live with me. I said, all right, cool, let's do it. And that's when people realize you can't deflect with me. So he got on there, I let him talk, and I'm just like, you really don't know who I am. So I'm like, you do know you just got re-indicted, right? And he's like, huh? Like, he didn't even know that. I'm like, you know that case is not closed. And I said, you know that paperwork that you put on your social media ain't even for the child that you're being accused of messing with.
So it's still being processed?
Right now.
Damn.
He's out, but right now.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And I even hit him on and said, a lot of people got mad at me because, like, why you put him on blast? Like, I went behind the scenes and like, yo, it's real people that understand and know paperwork. Stop posting paperwork. Like, that's not your thing. Because, like, I saw that name is not even the correct name. I tried to tell him, he kept doing it, though. I was like, okay.
Wow. Yeah, because he had an interview set up with us at least once or twice and then kind of bailed.
Yeah, because he ended up getting locked up for it because he kept going on this tour.
Really?
And see, that's one thing, and just public service announcement. If you're out on bond for a crime, even if the judge tell you you can't talk about it, don't talk about it. Because you have the family of the victims and, you know, like, they can apply pressure. And that's what happened. He got locked back up for it. So I think he's out now, but... yeah, you see, he ain't talked about it no more.
Yeah, he ain't said anything.
I hope that shit ain't true.
I think he is crazy.
Yeah, he is. I think he dropped the diss track.
So you did a DJU interview and it still hasn't came out, but you think the reason it's not coming out because Butta
FBI Butta threatened him.
Really?
And what did he tell DJU?
Hey,
what was relayed back to you?
It was, hey, you got that bitch up there on your platform, you gonna put that shit out. Hey, I'ma see about you type shit. Like, in a nutshell, that's not verbatim. Yeah. And then he even said my interview here wasn't gonna happen.
That's what you was telling me, that Butta told you that you're no jumper.
He said, hey, I'm a new employee over at No Jumper. Ain't about the interview. Said, I just bought me a new car off my advance. I said, oh, okay.
Have you publicly posted that you're here or whatever? Because I feel like maybe if we post a picture of her here, then the DJU one comes out real quickly because he tries to get the jump on this one. I don't know.
Look, I ain't want to ruffle the feathers until I did the interview.
Right.
Because like the DJU, I didn't even drop it until after I left Chicago because I know people don't like me in Chicago. So once I left, I posted it and it went crazy. But yeah, they was upset about it. And they mean the FBI Butta and I guess his whoever around him.
But you think DJU is going to follow through with it and not post because of Butta? He said he going to post.
He said he ain't never picked a side before and, you know. But people keep asking because it was supposed to come out before I came here. So, you know.
Wow.
What about, did you look into the Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez?
I'm gonna be honest, no. I followed the sentencing because I said he was gonna get 10 years. Like, and I'm gonna say this, okay? Because people got on me about that too. The reason why I say he can do whatever he want to try to get out in California, you ain't had to shoot her. If they prove you had that gun and you shot in her direction, you done anyway. So even if Kelsey did it, you still ain't getting out unless you got evidence that prove you never had a gun in your hand, like at all. But other than that, California laws is for real. Like he's not gonna get out no matter what evidence, unless it's to show he ain't had no gun.
You think he shot her?
Hell yeah, he shot her and told her to dance.
That's crazy.
But yeah, that's just, because alcohol, and then he just give me, like, when I be hearing him talk, like, he do probably get angry, and this is my, how I'm looking at him. Hell yeah, he probably got in his feelings. You got me walking away from $1 billion old, fucking around with you out here in the streets, because you drunk,
No, that's funny. He said, he definitely shot her and said, dance, bitch, dance. That's crazy. What was up with you and King AK-47? Why y'all don't like each other?
Shout out to King AK-47. We good. Him and Zoo was at it.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, that man ain't snitch. Now, I ain't got nothing to do with the ego shit y'all got going on, but he ain't snitch. So he said, I was taking up for Zoo, all that, but it was ego shit.
From the zoo.
Yeah, it was ego shit. And then he told me I wasn't a street person. And I said, well, you ain't a court person, so stay out my zone if you don't want, because I hate when people say stay out the streets. Like, I'm not out here telling y'all how to build a bando, how to, do drills. I'm talking about court shit, legal shit.
Yeah.
So that was it. But it was like friendly banter, but people ran with it to make it seem like it was beef. And I'm gonna be honest, it was great clickbait. So,
Wow.
What about the YNW Melly trial? Any updates? What do you think is gonna happen?
I'm gonna be honest. But now, if anything,
You've been keeping up with that, right?
Not recently, not since recently. It's not nothing's gonna happen until the Supreme Court make a decision on the evidence. See, a lot of evidence got thrown out where he could walk because they don't have what they had the first go around. But until the Supreme Court rules on it, nothing is going to happen. I feel personally the witness tampering probably the stronger conviction than it would be for the murder at this point. That's just, how I'm looking at it. But if the evidence come back, then it'll be up in the air. But, I done had victims' family mad at me about that case too.
Oh, who?
The dad of one of the victims. He shot at me a couple times on his page.
Portland?
No, which
Sack
one?
Chaser?
The other one. Juvie's dad.
Juvie,
yeah. Because again, like I said, it's just, unfortunately, I'm not saying this right. I do the free so-and-sos, free that. He ain't like it. Just like the Momma Duck situation. He, sent some shots at me. And then I exposed his paperwork for his alleged child molestation.
Jesus Christ. Everybody got that, huh? What the
and look, and then all I said was the same way you beat that off a technicality. He beat raping molesting, his daughter because they searched his phone illegally. That's a technicality. That's not saying you ain't do it. Yeah. They saw the pictures in your phone. It's in the paperwork.
Damn.
And I just said Melly gonna beat his case the same way you beat yours off a technicality because somebody ain't did what they was supposed to do.
Jesus Christ. That's crazy.
That's why they don't like me.
Is 803 the area code where you're from? Okay.
Columbia, South Carolina. I had to make sure I rep on No Jumper for sure.
We got to get you with Charlemagne.
For sure.
Because what city is he from? It's some tiny ass city. Monk's Corner or something?
Monk's Corner.
That is country.
Yeah, right.
I used to go down there to do events in his hometown. He have like every year, like back to school thing. Back when my daughter was younger, she used to sell like hair and stuff. So we used to go down there. But yeah, definitely.
Damn, we got to get you with Charlemagne. That would be super interesting. Yeah. I wonder if he's tapped in. He's pretty mainstream. It might take him a little while to find out.
Definitely, because I don't even think he tapped in with the city like the state like that no more. He used to do music and stuff, right. And a lot of the artists there probably would have some bad stories to say about him.
Really?
Yeah, say he, I don't know nothing about that really, but other than a lot of them.
Let's hope no aspiring YouTubers out there see that and are like, oh, well,
they
here's my next video.
Look, they already got that out there. Cause you know he was accused of the unthinkable too.
Yeah. The unthinkable.
It's like everyone's getting accused of
Hey.
But that shit is so old, but it still rears its head once in a while.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's why I was like, when people, and it depends who brings it up, to be honest. Like, dang, I can't even remember. It was a case I did, Boston Richey. Because you know I actually beat 1090 to the Boston Richey case. Oh, okay. Right? But of course, it got no shine, you know, when 1090 did it. So it just depends on who bring it up. See, me, if I hear something, I kind of see like, who talking about it? I'll look on y'all page, I'll look on mine, I ain't really talk about it. I'm gonna leave it alone. Cause I'll hit rappers up like, hey, you know somebody sent me some stuff on you. And I'm like, but you ain't in my algorithm, so I'm gonna leave it alone now. But if you become in the algorithm, it's gonna come out. And that's why the Soulja Boy paperwork, it was old, but he got into it with somebody, and I was like, this is the perfect time to drop his statement that he really was lying about how to shoot into the place. Really? But he actually shot him, but
which
the home invader one, the one.
Yeah.
The legendary one.
You know, I was sitting on that for a minute. It just, you know, when he got it, I can't remember who he was beefing with, and that's all.
Well, okay, because that's a crazy one, because you have Soulja Boy doing a whole Vlad interview about it. Then you have the guys that he shot doing a whole interview about it on Vlad. And that's actually why Soulja Boy doesn't fuck with Vlad, is because Vlad did that interview.
Right.
But then you also have The Truth, which I would assume is probably somewhere in between.
Yeah, like he definitely caught him one, but it wasn't the way he said it.
Because he made it sound like he just like cold-blooded murdered these dudes.
That's why it was so funny. And I wanted him to say my name so bad when he went on the rant, but he just came at y'all. I like, goddamn.
He said our name in rant so many times that I feel like it doesn't even do anything anymore.
To come up. But yeah, that's why I be telling people like, hey, it'd be definitely content. I'm doing this to grow. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm not about to go back and forth with, I mean, if your platform's smaller than mine, the hell I'm going, make all the videos you want. And I learned that from 1090, you know, like let them do whatever.
So what's next from Mickey Truth? Like, what do you want to get out of all of this?
I ultimately want to be like an actual interviewer. Like I want to do that. I started doing that before, but it just wasn't there yet. So that's why I don't even pull paperwork no more. I retired December 31st, 2023. You know, it's because now everybody doing it. Yeah. So I just really sit back, you know, and I fact check now. That's really what my content videos be. I react to stuff, you know. I point out the holes, like the whole thing with Flocko and his Bricc baby and Quando, right? I knew it was cap. Like as far as the storyline, it was good content because I actually went to Quando Rondo's bail hearing. I heard wiretaps.
Oh, really?
So I know they ain't looking at dirt for that. So you know what I'm saying? So that's just what I'm on. I'm attending more trials, more hearings, because you get more details when you actually sit there. So
that Quando shit is crazy, because until I heard you describing some of the stuff that they talked about on that phone call, that was always one that I just didn't even mention it to Bricc, because I was just kind of like, I don't really want to know, and it doesn't look that like I'm watching the Trap Lord Ross shit about it. I'm like, bro, this is kind of convincing. I'm just gonna not mention
going
it.
Crazy.
Yeah,
I'll be honest, because like my ending of every video is Bricc baby. When I first started on No Jumper saying I was gonna be big when the Rollo stuff first happened. So that's my ending to every video. So boy, they was like, hey, did you see what Flocko said about Bricc baby? And I was like, it's good content. And if you didn't know, because I learned from the news down there in Savannah, because I learned from people all the time. They was like, you don't give them everything. You just give them bits and pieces. So a lot of like my notes from there, I ain't released. So, but when it comes out, like, y'all know that's just content, right?
So from what you heard, what do you think happened?
It's definitely drug and gang related.
That is pretty close to what we heard, yeah.
Yeah. And that's that.
But not the gang that people might have assumed.
No, not the gang, yeah. Definitely not a gang. Okay, definitely the gang that will reach over somebody to shoot somebody they want for sure.
Right.
But yeah,
no. So where you and Wack at right now, you guys?
I don't know, man. Sorry, but me and Wack is good. You know, Wack, when it comes time to turn up, you know, you may think we at odds, but we good. He hit me up every night. I just be busy, and sometimes he be like, "Oh, you too busy for me," you know. But it's just I don't be in the paperwork no more. Like, I be traveling more now.
So you're not a part of the exposers?
No. No. And I actually kind of felt some type of way that he tried to like give 1090 my credit as far as like my platform. I'm like, hold up. For one, I don't even know nothing about no exposures. For two, how the hell did my platform turn into 1090? Like 1090 never did none of my content. Like I give him credit for like giving me some advice. Like even talking to like rappers, how like, you know, discretion is key. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. Yeah, definitely. But no, my content always been mine. I've been the one to go get it. You know, any paperwork he has gave to me, I'll say like, yeah, I got this from 1090. But the 03 Greedo, I never even ran. So, but that was the only thing. And we talked about it. But yeah, you know, when it comes to Clubhouse, he gonna say, you know, a lot of them don't like Mickey Truth, you know, so they bring him something, he gonna react. I know how I go, cause hell.
I feel like because I was really surprised when I heard 1090 say that he was planning on like kind of taking a step away from exposing people. But when you really think about it, I believe that it's like a super competitive landscape because I've definitely like talked to him about situations and like videos he might be making and realized that to him, it can be kind of stressful because it's like if he finds out about something, the pressure's on to basically like make the video about it. But then meanwhile, he's sort of like competing against all these other YouTubers who might make the video first. And then also it just kind of turns your life into like mega turmoil, especially if you're somebody like 1090 who's like street affiliated. Realistically, he got security concerns. He moves around a certain kind of way. And every single time he reports on somebody, it's just making more and more enemies. I don't really assume that he's making the kind of enemies that would actually be likely to do something to him, but it's definitely possible, you know?
Look, I'm gonna tell you, out of everybody, me and 1090 covered together, like we both covered it. There's only one rapper I don't even get into it because he probably be the one, the dude crash out to cover his secret. And he viral right now with Wack.
Well, that's 2 times.
Hey,
that's the one that you feel like could take revenge against a media person.
Oh, hell yeah. To keep that secret. Look, let me tell you, I tell people all the time, hey, I ain't in the tax bracket with these guys. Like, I am not in Wack tax bracket. And I ain't made no million like Jake off of this shit. Yeah. I'm gonna go to a certain degree. Yeah, it don't matter to me that much if somebody told. I let them have that. But yeah,
the question is, did Mickey Truth's father instruct her to keep a pole?
No.
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 But the laws down south, like
a lot of girls carry guns these days.
No. My dad, nah, that's not where I got it from. My husband actually put me onto guns. We used to go hunting. So, I definitely believe in the right to bear arms. Shit, so, and that was my responsibility when he threatened me. I'm like, bruh,
good luck.
Welcome to the South anytime you want.
FBG Butta.
FBI Butta.
Wait, husband? How long you been married?
14 years.
14 years. Holy shit. What kind of guy? Give us a rough estimate.
A law-abiding citizen.
He doesn't work in law enforcement?
No, hell no. He don't even agree with this shit here.
Really? He doesn't like you coming on here or just making the videos in general?
No, just like talking like, you know, he don't get it about the police shit. He call it police shit. Like even when he hear me like interacting with other YouTubers, he like, what the fuck? Like y'all just be sitting there talking about police shit. Like he don't be into that. He just be like, that shit weird. So he don't get it. And like now he never thought a little hobby that he used to fuss about turn into this. He's like, you going where? I'm like, I'm going to Cali to get on no jump.
He was with you for 12 years before all this shit kind of started happening. It's gonna be crazy.
Actually, we separated right before I started Mickey Truth. That's really why I started Mickey Truth, to have something to do. And then like, as I was coming up, we try to work things out. And then now he's like, the fuck? He be like, he don't really understand. But then, like I said, I came out here, he's just like, I can't believe you in Cali talking police shit. So yeah, shout out to Mr. Truth.
So for everybody that don't know where to find you at, where can they find you at to be tapped in with Mickey Truth?
Okay, on YouTube, Mickey Truth, Instagram, TikTok, all that, Mickey Truth 2022. Hey, I'm your favorite blogger, favorite resource. Remember that.
I remember that.
It's got a ring to it.
I've been saying that for a long time.
Okay, so let me just ask you this: do you see any like as a person who's really observing this whole hip hop adjacent YouTube landscape? What are the opportunities? Like, what do we need more people? What kind of content do we need more? Like stuff that you think people should focus on? Just truth.
Truth. Like, I get the clickbait, and you can play wordplay for sure without lying. It's just the lies, like, because that really impacts. Like, people think, oh, you pulling people paperwork, you can impact their lives, right? You lying on somebody can impact their life, like on some real stuff. You sitting there saying fake. Oh, I can't stand the ones that's doing fake paperwork. That's a no. Like, you can really get somebody messed up on that. So just focus on the truth, and they'll come to you. Like, for real, you don't have to lie. And another thing, it's okay to do content. I'm with the place, 'cause it be interesting to me sometimes. It's like watching a soap opera or watching your favorite TV show, but people be like buying into it like it's real life. Like, I be like, God damn, they be ready to crash out, you know? Because I was listening to Flacco Live last night, and they was like on him. I'm like, yo, it's entertainment. That's what we here for. Like,
but that's a funny thing with gangsters is that they love a Flacco that they can act tough to, so they don't have to act tough to other gang members, right?
Trust me, I know, because they act tough to me.
They try to do it to me too.
When I call them, I be like, y'all letting y'all pink show. That's my way of, calling them that. Like, it's crazy. Like, y'all talking street stuff to somebody who ain't claiming to be street.
Right.
Like, I don't care what the politics is in the streets. I ain't out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, what we talking about? I want to be able to legally lay your ass out and go home. 'Cause I know I can't do no time, so I ain't trying to do nothing to get me. Like, I'm not trying to be street. I'm not trying to be none of that. They be pushing their street mentality on people that ain't trying to be street. Like, we're blogging, we're YouTubing, we're whatever. If you don't want to hear the conversation, get your ass off of social media. Go be in the streets. Go to the bando or whatever y'all do out there. Like, the hell you on the internet for? What you on YouTube for?
No.
Right. Definitely. So, okay. Anything that people should know about? Anything you got coming up that you want them to check in on?
Hey, I'm wherever y'all want me to be. Y'all know. Submit y'all tips to my tip line. It's still, bookmickytruth@gmail.com. Yeah, people send me tips. That's how I get my content.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
Sure.
I appreciate y'all.
I'm looking forward to see what we're going to find with the 2015 proffer that could have not.
It's on. Look, I got my peoples on it. We gonna find it. Cause somebody released a video that said it'll lose that FBI Butta told on Lil B about a murder. So I'm waiting for that paperwork. Hey, we gonna piece it together.
Wow.
It's a reason why STL cut him off in 2015, and that was said at trial.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Butta?
Hey, that's why he know who everybody got killed by right there.
Wow.
And with proffers, you tell on everything you know. You don't just tell on your case.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
If you tell them the half truth, then they're allowed to charge you, right?
Yeah. And to be honest, I don't know the details of his proffer. That's why I want to read it. Because, how is he still walking around with immunity if you lied on your original proffer?
Wow.
That should be null and void. And if that is the case, like I said, he screwed the old block Rico himself, though, to be honest, at the end of the day. And that's why I was like, how can anybody be mad at anybody but him? Because, you actually know these people. You know what I'm saying? That was your homeboy. You cried on the stand when they was talking about Duck. But then you get on these interviews and say you lied on purpose. And he actually did get caught in his lie on the stand about the drug use. So it's not like he just saying he lied. Nah, he actually got caught up in his lie.
They called him out for being on drugs?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he talks about that in interviews all the time.
Yeah, and then, because one of the murders, I think it was the Dale murder, he lied about he was high that day. You know what I'm saying? And then, what's interesting, though? What I am thinking about, K.I. mom did an interview in 2014, the only interview I found.
Really?
And she said she worked with the gang unit, with the police in 2011. That was interesting to me. I hear she's supposed to have another interview coming, but just hearing her say that, how can her daughter be this assassin when she worked with the police from 2011 to 2014? They had her number,
yeah.
So it seemed weird.
Wow.
That the FBI allowed that to go into a case if it's not true.
Yeah, I recently just talked to K.I. mom, so I might be on the way.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That would be a good interview.
Yeah.
Because that 1 hour, that's the only interview she ever gave, that 1 hour interview. So, especially now with all this other stuff happening, I really want to know. Because just like the lie that Butta say, like him and K.I. had the same, he said that on the stand, had the same daddy. That's a lie.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, a lot of interesting stuff coming up. Okay. Don't mess with Mickey Truth. That's the main message that I got from this interview. Don't mess with her. She will dig up your fucking skeleton.
For sure. I troll different.
I like that.
For sure. Thank you to Riemoh for co-hosting. Appreciate you. Yes. Everybody tap in with Mickey Truth. Give it a Google. Search her up on all social media platforms. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Everybody, No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. Check us out on YouTube, TikTok, Patreon, and Instagram. Like, comment, and subscribe. NoJumper.com if you want to support